Hi folks, and welcome to today's video, coping psychologically with a herniated disc. Now, I make a lot of good content for those folks out there suffering with low back pain problems such as sciatica nerve pain, bulging discs, herniated discs, lumbar stenosis, lumbar arthritis. If that is you, then hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified when I upload some great content to get you back on the road to the pain-free recovery. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So folks, today I want to talk about coping psychologically when you're suffering from a lumbar herniated disc. Now, why am I making this video? Well, one of my people I'm working with at the minute, she actually asked me a couple of weeks ago, she's like, how do you deal with having a herniated disc? How does the mental side, the mental strength, how do you deal psychologically with having this issue? Because it does go on for a very, very long time, okay? Now, before we get into it, you may notice that my background is different. For those subscribers that watch me regularly, I didn't do a video last week. That's because I was actually moving. I was moving to a new location. I've now moved to the country of Montenegro. It's down on the Adriatic coast, very beautiful country. Myself and my wife, we moved down here, so I didn't actually do a video last week, so apologies for that. So, but I'm getting back into the posting again with this video. So I was asked this question, and I have made some videos before on psychological coping skills, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background on, this of the herniated disc injury and why it becomes such a sort of tough process mentally to deal with sometimes. So, as an example, I often use this with clients. If somebody walks into a room, you're at an event, a party, whatever, networking event, somebody walks in with a broken arm, a broken leg, you can pretty much tell, okay? They've got the cast in their arm, pins wherever it could be, crutches, etc. Somebody walks in with a herniated disc, okay? You wouldn't know initially, but they're suffering inside, okay? They've got a bit of sciatica, a bit of back pain. They're looking as to where to sit down. They're looking for, a chair they can support themselves in. They're looking for something to lean on. Maybe they'll leave the party early because they can't stay there too long because the back pain, sciatica nerve pain, which is often the side effect of a herniated disc, will come into play. So it is very trying mentally because another side of that is if you do have that broken arm, you've still got a good arm to work with. You can, function quite normally. You can probably even still go to the gym and do some exercises with that one arm or those legs. When you've got a low back injury, like a herniated disc, bulging disc, it affects all facets of your life because it's the sort of midpoint of your body, it's connection upper lower. Whenever you go to move, it can be exacerbated. Whenever you're going upstairs, downstairs, picking up kids, shopping, laundry, whatever it could be, it really does in many ways take over all of your life. And then of course that comes into the brain, right? And it can become, people can get depressed, anxious, angry, become sort of short-tempered with their family members, partners, etc. Because it is a very trying exercise. Very trying sort of problem to have. And it's not like bone, which fixes itself 6 to 8 weeks. Your bone will ossify, it's fixed. It's not like that, a small muscle pool, okay? It can take months, many, many months, sometimes a couple of years in some cases, for that injury to get better, okay? Now myself, I had my first injury back in 2005. It took me about a year or so to get over that completely. And then I still took about another 6 months of careful training to get back to being fully healthy. That lasted, 18, 19 years till last year. I actually coming up for my anniversary of a year when I re-injured myself. So it'll be March of 2024. So we're now a couple of weeks away from when I actually re-injured myself, and I had my MRI probably a month ago or so. So it was almost, sort of 10 months, 11 months after the injury, I went to get an MRI to see how things were progressing. And yeah, it did show what I suspected, L5-S1, re-herniated, touching the nerve, because obviously I've got sciatica nerve pain. I've no idea how much it has shrunk since that point. Probably not much. It usually doesn't shrink much in the first year or so. It's kind of at that year to 18 months that there is more of a significant shrinkage. So I've definitely got another 3 to 6 months of careful rehabilitation and working around the injury to get myself back to optimal health. So how have I been coping psychologically, mentally with this struggle? Okay, so I recommend, and I do have a guide actually, which is based on cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a psychological coping strategy for reframing thoughts and also mindfulness. Myself, I tend to use a lot of distraction techniques, which kind of happen naturally. I keep myself very, very busy. So I'll give you sort of the worst example of what not to do and then what to do. So I had a chap once who basically, he had, had the back pain, had the back issue, herniated bulging discs. He worked from home and he would do his exercises in his office. He wouldn't leave the office. He was all work, and he became very hyper-focused on the pain, okay? Not many distractions. He didn't get out to go walk outside, etc. And there is elements of research which say if you do hyper-focus on the pain, you tend to manifest the pain more. If you're hyper-stressed with work, some people, depending on how they carry stress, if you have an injury, that pain from the injury will increase the more stress you are placed under, okay? So this is the worst position to be in. High stress, job, not coping with the stress properly. You're not taking yourself out of your work environment, which causes the stress. That just increases and manifests the pain. You then start thinking about the pain more. That basically ups the pain intensity to some degree. So what is kind of like what I would do, okay? Because I do work mostly from home. I take myself out for walks a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's basically a distraction technique, okay? I will get into positions where I have no pain. This could be my prone front lying position. It can be like legs up on the couch, taking the stress off my back for a little while, a little bit of decompression. I do still go to the gym. I do activities because, movement activities, they do create feel-good hormones in the body, and you basically get some pain relief from that. I go see friends, hang out with friends for coffees, etc. I say hang out with my wife, of course. We do things together. So I'm using a lot of distraction and keeping myself busy, so I'm not hyper-focused on the pain, okay? Now, another thing which I talk about a lot, and a lot of people, they don't realize to do it, or it just seems a bit too much work, is to realize like where you've come from. Another way you can do that is by recording what you've done so far. And it's a very simple thing. It's basically daily journaling, daily diary, daily journaling, whereby you're writing things down like, what you did, activities, exercises, how much sleep you got, your stress levels, and you're kind of detailing all these things down. It serves a couple of different purposes. It serves as a way to establish what triggers pain, okay? So if you have one particular day where, the pain's, a bit worse today, what's going on? You can look back in your journal and say, actually, 2 days ago, I helped my friend move, or I was mowing the lawn, or something, right? And that allows you to say, right, okay, when I'm doing that particular activity, or if I have to do that activity, I'm gonna have to work around it as best I can, be more mindful when I do the activity, and see if that decreases my pain 2 days later, okay? So myself, for example, I was moving. Obviously, I just told you guys I moved, right? So pretty much on the days it was fine because the adrenaline's pumping, you're moving, and a long drive, which was fine. And it was a couple of days after we'd kind of moved that I actually got more of an uptick in pain. And this is sometimes the adrenaline and the kind of the distraction has worn off, right? And the body will sometimes take a couple of days and then the pain manifests. It's obviously come way back down now, but I knew why, right? I had, there was a cause and effect from that particular incident, okay? So having the journal is really good for sort of establishing what triggers pain, so then you know how to deal with it. So you have that grasp and control aspect, okay? Not feeling completely helpless, right? On the other side of that, it also helps you see what you've done and where you've come from. So I used to ask, or I still ask quite often, a question saying, what have you achieved this week that you couldn't do last week, or you didn't do last week, or last month? Me personally, I had constant pain when I was at my worst. I had trouble sleeping. This is last March, April last year. I would feel it if I was sitting for too long. Now I can pretty much, sit with no issues. I drove all the way, it was like 1,000 kilometers, so it was about 600 miles or so, without any real issues. So you look back and you can see where you've come, and it lets you understand that, hey, I am making gains, I am getting better. Yes, it can be slow with this injury. That's very, very normal, okay? But looking back and being sort of objective about what you've done, because you've got a record of it, will let you sort of stay motivated, keep optimistic that you're actually making progress. So I practice a lot of that myself, recording what I've done, using the distraction techniques. But there are other things you can do. As I said, cognitive behavioral therapy, I've got a couple of videos which are going to flash up at the end of this one, which go into more detail about using those types of psychological coping skills and mindfulness to help reframe your thoughts, to sort of gain more positive thoughts and how you can deal with some of those negative thoughts and reframe them and basically have a much more kind of optimistic view of your recovery, okay? But listen, if you are out there struggling with this herniated disc recovery journey, you know, either mentally, physically, having problems with your physiotherapist, not getting the results you're expecting, then reach out to me. You know, if you look down below in the description, I do offer a free advice call, 45, well, it's actually up to an hour. It says 45 minutes, but it's about an hour for most people. Where we jump on a call, you have a pre-questionnaire beforehand to do it. You've got to sort of reconfirm your call a few different times just to make sure you're going to be there. And then we go over it in the call, you know, your issue, and afterwards I send you guys an email with some exercises, things to try and get you back on the track to that pain-free life, okay? So guys, listen, apologies for being away last week. I hope this video has sort of, you know, helped a little bit with how you should approach the mental side of recovery. As I said, check out those two other videos that are going to come up. That's going to give you more in-depth detail of cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness training for sort of pain control. And don't forget to, of course, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I want to get those subscriptions up over 4,000 if possible. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.